I have this really bad habit of living entirely in the future. When I'm at my worst, I don't just imagine what that's going to be like to be in the future. I live there. I know what it is going to feel like. I know what people are going to say to me. I know how happy I am going to be. It is different than imagining the future. I fully occupy my future life. The problem with that is that when I live that way, I am not living in the present. And what happens is I don't take action in my day to actually move in the direction of that future because unfortunately I am already there. What can happen is that I actually slip backwards in my life because I am not paying attention to the things that actually need to happen. I end up just living somewhere else entirely. This is actually a really bad habit that I picked up when I was in active addiction. I was addicted to alcohol for more than a decade. I spent my life in misery. And when I was living that way, I did not want to be in the present. I had nothing in the present. I did not want to be anywhere close to today. I wanted to be somewhere else. And so I started living in the future. I started living in the place where I had the success that I wanted, where people told me how amazing I was, where I loved myself, or at least I had found happiness. But in the present, in addiction, I was miserable. So when I carried that into sobriety, what I figured out was that I could just be as miserable sober. I was introduced to this concept early on in sobriety, living one day at a time. You should just live your life fully one day at a time. Pay attention to what's right in front of you and don't worry about anything else. And honestly, I thought that was something that I was going to grow out of. I thought that it would be something that I had to do for a short period of time, and then eventually I would be able to go back to living my life in a normal way. Now, granted, I had no idea what normal was, but I thought that I would be able to leave behind this one day at a time nonsense. And so eventually I did. I lived my life for a while, one day at a time, just doing what was right in front of me. And then I slipped into the future. I started living a day ahead, and a week ahead, and a year ahead, and 5 years ahead. Not just imagining what that was going to be like, but living there, fully occupying the future and ignoring the present. I have spent so much of my sobriety trying to figure out this balance between living in the day that I have, living fully in today, and being focused on the future without slipping into living there. Those things are really hard for me. I have studied and read, listened to so many people who talk about mindfulness and being present. And I love that concept. And at my best, that's exactly what I do. I live fully in the day that I have. But occasionally, I slip into that future. I think about what it's going to be like. I think about how happy I'm going to be when I get there. And then I start living there because I'm happier there. The amazing thing about every one of those future trips, even if I achieve the goal that I had imagined in my head, I'm not happy when I get there. I've moved the goalpost even further away. I have set happiness further away from myself. So I've decided in my life that it is much, much easier to just live in today. And any time that I get out of sync with that, any time that I start slipping into the future, any time that I start occupying a space that isn't today, I pull myself right back to where I am, where my feet are, what I'm doing right now, how I'm feeling right now. Am I grateful? Am I worried? Am I scared? Or am I content with the life that I have?